On the modern battlefield, some of the most important roles are played by soldiers most people never see, or even hear about. These are the snipers. In Ukraine, where war has taken over cities and countryside alike, these marksmen are a critical part of the country's defense. They don't fire dozens of rounds or charge into battle. Instead, they lie still, hidden, and wait for the one perfect moment to take a shot. Snipers in Ukraine work in a world where patience is just as important as accuracy. A single bullet can take down a key target, like an enemy officer, drone pilot, or machine gunner, and change the entire course of a battle. But the hardest part isn't pulling the trigger. It's everything that comes before it, staying motionless for hours, managing their breathing, calculating distances, accounting for wind, and anticipating enemy movement. They operate in forests, in the rubble of destroyed buildings, along trenches and narrow front lines. Their presence is felt far more than seen. The silence they impose on the battlefield isn't just physical, it's psychological. One sniper, well positioned, can force an entire enemy unit to slow down, change direction, or call for backup. That's not just useful, it's a game changer. Unlike traditional infantry, snipers rarely work in large groups. Their missions are often solo or done in small teams. The classic sniper-spotter pair is still common, with one person pulling the trigger while the other handles wind readings, range estimates, and scanning the surroundings. But in Ukraine's current war, that ideal setup isn't always possible. Many snipers are now operating alone. They rely on drones for reconnaissance, using aerial feeds instead of spotters to locate targets or identify threats. They don't have the luxury of time or backup. Decisions have to be made fast, and once they take the shot, they often need to change positions immediately to avoid being detected. Stealth is key. Ukrainian snipers sometimes spend days in the same location, wearing ghillie suits customized to match the local terrain. Leaves in forests, dust in ruined cities, snow in winter fields. In high surveillance zones, they might crawl hundreds of meters just to get into the right angle without being seen. If they're spotted, they become the hunted. Counter-sniper teams, thermal cameras, artillery strikes, and FPV drones are all used to track and eliminate them. Despite the risk, these soldiers play multiple roles on the front. They protect advancing units by taking out threats ahead. They gather information, quietly feeding updates to artillery and drone teams, and when they do pull the trigger, it's rarely about body counts. It's about slowing the enemy down and shaking their confidence. Becoming a sniper in the Ukrainian military isn't easy. Candidates are selected through a tough screening process that tests their physical endurance, focus, and psychological stability. It's not just about hitting a target. Trainees learn to stay still for long periods, blend into the environment, estimate distances with minimal equipment, and make split-second judgments. Not everyone makes it. But those who do often become some of the most valuable assets on the battlefield. Gear matters too. Snipers don't use just any rifle. The weapon has to match the mission, the terrain, and even the weather. One of the most common Ukrainian-made rifles in use is the Z10, chambered in 7.62 millimeters. It's lightweight and easy to move with, ideal for missions that require a lot of repositioning. In some units, it's treated as a backup weapon for situations where agility is more important than range. For longer engagements, Ukrainian forces also use the Cadex, a heavier sniper rifle chambered in .338 caliber. It's often equipped with high-end thermal optics like the Archer TSA-7, which helps spot hidden enemies by detecting heat. The built-in ballistic computer adjusts for wind, pressure, and humidity, making sure each shot counts. With a range of up to 1,500 meters, this rifle is perfect for both urban warfare and open landscapes. Of course, you can't win a war with snipers alone. Sometimes you need to bring in the big boys. Watch this. Ukraine's Bradley rolls in like it owns the battlefield. It locks onto enemy positions and wipes them out with flawless precision. Then a Russian tank creeps forward, unaware the Bradley's already in place. Seconds later, boom, direct hit. The tank's done before it can react. And the Bradley. It keeps pushing forward, spitting fire, clearing the way. And sometimes you've got to use smart weapons, like FPV drones. That tank? It's hit, but not fully out. It tries to retreat, crawling away through the rubble, but it's being watched. The second drone moves in fast. Low, quiet, accurate. As soon as the tank stops, boom. Mission complete. And here's another one. A Russian tank parked, waiting to strike Ukrainian positions. But it's already too late. Boom. A multi-million-dollar machine turned into scrap. Here's another Russian tank on the move and firing toward Ukrainian positions. But then, everything changes in an instant. It rolls over a landmine. Boom. A massive explosion rips through the vehicle. Way bigger than what a standard mine would cause. That's because it triggered a chain reaction. The tank's own ammo went up. The heat, the pressure, it all ignited inside. Here you see another Russian tank advancing toward Ukrainian positions, moving with confidence. But what the crew doesn't know is that it's already being hunted. An FPV drone is in the air, locked onto the tank's movement, following from a distance, watching every turn it makes. Without hesitation, the drone dives in. A massive explosion, fire, debris, smoke, all that's left where a tank once was. This is an armored mine-clearing vehicle, built to survive. Every side is covered with heavy protection to guard against drone strikes. But there's one problem. The front is exposed, and that's all it takes. A drone spots the weakness, dives straight in from the front, and boom, direct hit. All that armor didn't matter. One blind spot and the whole mission ends in flames. If you want to see more real Frontline footage and breakdowns like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel